So for me, sensuality is about being really, really intimate with the sensations of our body, so the senses of our body, really intimate with our sense of hearing and smell and taste and touch and movement and emotion. So it's a level of sensitivity to the way the body works and a willingness to really listen to it. And within that, listening to how the body, the female body, moves and works, and then adding a bit of our sexual energy into the system, into the hearing, into the breathing, into the smell, into the touch, which creates sensuality. So that's when I talk about sensuality. It's the intimate expression of our senses through our female sexual flow. The thing is, the beautiful thing is that we already are feminine. We already are sensual. Because we're already female. We're in a female body, unless you're in a male body, but we're talking. So we are in a female body, and our natural essence and our natural thing is to be feminine and sensual. But what happens is we become disconnected from our body. We become disconnected from the senses of the body. We, through either emotional trauma, physical trauma, life patterns. So all it really is finding out how to stay connected and stay in relaxed, intimate relationship with our female body. And then we're naturally sensual and we're naturally feminine already. The wonderful, I mean, there's so many wonderful things about us as human beings. I'm absolutely fascinated by us, the creation of us as human beings. And essentially that's taken me on the journey that I've been on around working with the body and working with others. And what I found about our body is that although it's in some ways it doesn't have a center, but in some ways if it does have a center, and for a woman the center of their body is situated within our womb. So it's the same for a man. And this, if you do Pilates or yoga or dance or martial arts, they'll all teach this sort of different names for the center. And a lot of, so if you're a dancer, you'll have that sense of the center of your body, and then everything moves around that, and you move with that, right? So, for a woman, that center of your being actually is within the womb. And to actually be kind of more precise around it, you're looking at the space just above the cervix, just within the womb. This particular area of our anatomy is what I would call the magnetic center, your magnetic center of your body. And when it's like the earth, so we're a mirror of the earth, yeah? And the earth, as scientists have found, is that this you know, the core of the earth, there's this iron ore, this magnetic center, that everything else, and then it goes through the different layers of earth to then the surface of the earth that we're all doing and acting and doing things on. And then that magnetic pull of the center of the earth is gravity, yeah? So within our body is the same, we're a mirror of that effect. So in this center of our body, in the womb of a woman, is this same sort of magnetic pull. This is the space inside our body that is the intuitive center. It is the creative area of our body. It draws toward us the things that we're looking for. So the importance that I find being connected with this part of our body is that when we're kind of not in that part of our body and sort of maybe a bit more in our head, a bit more in our mind, then we actually we're sort of off center. We're sort of being sort of thrown around and buffeted around by things around us. rather than being really strong in this is who I am, yeah, this is the energy that I bring, this is the presence that I bring, this is what the essence of who I am. So by being connected to this part of our body, brings about a level of contentment, a level of self-awareness. It can bring about confidence, because it brings about natural confidence, because you're by being connected with it, you're saying I am here, but you're also saying I am here within this female body, within my essence as woman, because this is the center, this is the hub of where that essence kind of flows from and through, yeah. And because of the unique, because obviously men have this center, but it emanates differently through the male body. But for us, because it's our centers in our womb, which is such a creative potency, and it has such a beautiful, expression. The thing is not just creates babies and life, but it also creates our dreams and our passions. So yeah, it's when I've worked with women around staying connected with this part of their body, I've seen this beautiful natural confidence arise. I've also experienced women pulling towards, sort of meeting the things that they've really been longing for, i.e. that might be a partner that they've really been looking for, or that job opportunity, or to start being recognized, or start being seen within their relationship much more and appreciated. What I love about when we're really deeply connected, and what I've witnessed in women that take the time to connect in with their womb every day, and one of my teachers always called it the home of the body, and I really like that, because when you're at home, that's where you take your shoes off, take your coats off, put your pajamas on, relax. Home is where we surrender in a different way. So I love that terminology, that the womb of our body, the pelvis of our body, is the home. This is where we let our hair down, take our makeup off, and be relaxed. Yeah. And so therefore, when we're relaxed and in connection, we're much more, it makes it much easier to make clear choices. Yeah. So I've found that women have found it much easier to make decisions, and much easier to make decisions that will actually benefit them, because they're putting themselves first, right? Their needs first, which I feel is actually really important. So that, and also it helps them find what their needs are, because they can feel it in their body, because their intuition. So then that's another thing, is that women have found that they can understand their intuition a lot more easily, because intuition starts as a feeling, yeah? So if you're not in a good feeling relationship with your body, you're not going to feel the first rumblings of intuition. You're going to miss it. So if you're in good relationships to feeling your body, the feeling of intuition is going to move through the body, and then you can translate it with your mind. You can then translate it through your emotions. So that's another thing, is women have become much more trusting in what their intuitive nature's saying, because they're feeling in their body. I've also found that sexual pleasure is becoming much more pleasurable for women, because they can feel the body more, because they can feel when the body says yes and when the body says no, and whether it feels that it wants to act a certain way sexually or doesn't want to act a certain way sexually. Also, it's wonderful working with womb wisdom around the menstrual cycle. So I've had women working with staying connected, and they've had a lot less pain. but because they're actually listening to their body, working with their body, working with the physical systems of the body and the energetic systems of the body. So a lot of their pain decreasing during their menstrual cycles, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, it's there's so much that it affects, isn't it?
Yeah.
When I start listing it, I'm like, oh my God,
Everything.
everybody.
Everything.
Everything, you know. And I've worked with women who are wanting to become pregnant, and some of the women haven't really been in a good relationship with their body, so the body feels like it's not safe. And when the body's not feeling safe, the body thinks that there's some survival need, and so therefore it doesn't necessarily feel ready for pregnancy. The environment's not the optimum environment for pregnancy. So beautifully so, I've got some wonderful women who have had babies over the last couple of years.
Oh, wow.
And as being part of their journey to motherhood is absolutely rewarding. And a part of that is connecting with the womb, that womb wisdom, the wisdom of the body, so that the womb can feel ready for creative growth on every level. So it's powerful stuff. It's simple. There's a simplicity, but I love simplicity. You know, powerful stuff. Definitely. I could probably list more. The wonderful thing about our menstrual cycle is that it is a cycle. And there's some wonderful women out there working with the menstrual cycle, and I also work with this, and I actually starting to work with teenagers. Because it's wonderful, because can you imagine when we were all teenagers?
I know, it's so nice to start early.
To actually love our periods would be amazing, you know. So it's taken me, you know, years to actually become in harmony with it and to actually really enjoy it and be curious. And so when you start listening to your cycle, what you find is that we are a rhythm, and there's times when we feel energized and want to get out there and do things and be that superwoman that we know we can be. But there's also times when we're not that, and we want to hibernate, and we just want to self-reflect. We want to go inside. And by listening to the body and listening to those cycles, it's actually a really wonderful tool, so that we don't keep pushing ourselves to be Wonder Woman all the time. That's always super amazing, always looks amazing, always feels amazing, because we don't. And it's a cycle, it's a rhythm. We naturally don't. It's a hormonal rhythm. So we can start using it. Like I understand my rhythm enough now to not book things in the stage of my cycle where I know that I don't really want to talk to anybody.
It's time to shut down and allow yourself time.
And then I might book a talk or a workshop at a part of my cycle when I know that I'm in the bit where I really want to meet people and really want to chat with people and really want to connect. So it can be used on so many levels, and one of them is working with pain, of how to be intimate with the body where it starts to relax any pain, because pain in the body is telling us that something's not in harmony, something is uneaseful, and if the womb lining is contracting too strongly, we can work with that. We can work with the womb and how the womb can relax that and be a bit more relaxed. But sometimes we're not letting ourselves stop. We're not letting ourselves nurture and rest and have the time we need at the time we need in our cycle. So again, the wisdom of the womb is telling us to slow down sometimes. And if we don't listen, it starts making
excuses. for us to
Yes,
listen.
it's telling us, and the pain is it telling us something's not in harmony. Yeah. I mean, over the years, it's really changed because I lived in a community where we did, most of the day was internal practice. But what I've found nowadays is that I like to have things that I do throughout the whole day. So I do have a set practice, and the set practice part of that is an awareness technique of dropping down into the womb to feeling the physical sensation of the womb, and that slight rocking, which I can show you in a while if you'd like me to. If that feels good, I could show you on here. Yeah. So that would be great. I can show you, and the women that we're working with can try it and give you some feedback. You can chat with them about it and give some feedback. And so personally, what I find for my body and what I found working with women is a little bit of movement. When we're going inside, when we close our eyes to feel in the body, either feel our emotions or feel our feelings of our body or our thoughts or anything, a little bit of movement works really well for the feminine body, for the female body. So I do a mixture of practice that I've created myself over years of doing various things, various different things, but mostly it's through using breath, using sound, and using very subtle movement of the body and very subtle movement of the muscles in the vagina. So I work with muscles in the vagina and do certain movement techniques in the pelvis that get a little bit of sexual energy moving in my pelvis, and then through breath I spread that through the body so that my body feels, as I was saying earlier, sensual. So I'm feeling, I become present in my body, I feel the senses of my body, and I add a little bit of sexual energy, move that through the body, and then I'm ready for my day. I feel alive, I feel vibrant, I'm connected to the whole of my body all the way through, and then I'm ready to, and I find that sexual energy can really focus the mind, really focus my intention for the day. So I do that. And I mean, I also run and love to keep fit as part of that as well. So I go running and do some yoga and Pilates. So, but as a sort of being in my female body, that's in essence the practice. I don't know, would this be helpful if I just share with everybody a technique? Yeah? So that they can actually experience.
They can get a taste of what I do.
Yeah. So let me just move around a little bit. So the first thing is to how to connect with the womb. So we've been talking about womb wisdom. For me, the way to connect with this part of our body is to, first of all, is to start breathing through the mouth. So you just softening the jaw and you're just breathing through the mouth. And as you breathe in, your belly, you feel movement in your belly. So your belly fills, and then when you breathe out, your belly goes in. So it's a physical movement. I'm very much a believer that we need to start with the physical sensation. So your belly's filling as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, the belly's going in. And if you feel, and it's like moving that breath so that it goes all the way down to the pubic bone, so that you've got, it's quite a sort of, you're pushing the belly out right the way down to the top of the pelvis and breathing in. So this breath is a soothing breath. It creates, it invites oxytocin into the body, which is I always like, it's like the happy hormone.
Happy hormone, yeah, that's what I thought. Easy to remember.
Yeah, easy to remember. Okay. And then as you're doing that, it's to place your hand, I'm going to stand up, is to place your hand just above, so you've got your pubic bone and your pelvis coming up here. It's to place your hand, so your little fingers just placed on top of the pubic bone, and you just feel, so you're breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, and you just feel the sensation of your hand upon the womb. So at first your hand might be hot, cold, and you're feeling the cloth upon your skin of your clothes. And you just start feeling, what is the physical feeling of this part of your body. And as you're doing that, there's no actual way that it needs to feel. It'll be unique to you in the moment. And then I'm going to see if I can show you this really slight rocking. Can you see me okay there?
Yeah, I'm able to.
So the little bit of movement that I'm talking about, my belly button sticking up, a little bit of movement that I'm talking about, it's, as you get with the breath, it's a little bit of rocking. So you're rocking so that the pubic bone rises forwards and your coccyx rides back. So it's like this beautiful scoop. Yeah, it's like a swing, that's right. And you can keep your hand there. And so as you breathe in, it rocks back, and as you breathe out, and then in, and then out, and then in, and out. So it's a very slow rocking, a very slow sort of movement like this, and it goes with the breath. And what you're looking for, or what you're really feeling, is the sensation. You don't need to worry about anything else. You're just feeling what's going on, what's the sensation in the hips, what's the sensation in your hand, underneath your hand, that whole area. And just see what happens. Just see what happens. So I'm really inviting the women watching this to just explore and see what happens. And just try it on your journey, in the car, on the bus, to work tomorrow. Do that the whole way and see how you feel, and compare it to the day before and see what the difference is. Because that will show you, wow, is it worth you then exploring a bit more about your womb and a bit more about your womb wisdom? So I definitely invite you to explore that on your journey to work tomorrow and see what happens. And you can let Janita know.
Yeah,